Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Craps. From the title of the video, I'm sure you can tell that this will be a multi-video series. Today will be part one as we're doing an introduction to the game of craps. Today what we'll be discussing are the simple what does it look like on a craps table with a few variations depending on the table that you play on. So let me explain or run down what my table looks like. First things first, you have the pass line and the don't pass bar. So these are going to be opposite of each other. Anytime that you do a pass line bet, it has to be the table minimum or more. When you walk up to a table at any casino, whether it's craps, roulette, blackjack, you name it, any table game will have a minimum. And so you will want to make sure that you're betting at least the minimum in order to play. And when you put the money on the pass line, you are betting on one of these numbers up here that the puck is on. So if the puck is on the 8, you're trying to roll the 8 again so that you can win. If you roll a 6, it's fine. If you roll a 9, it's fine. But what you don't want to roll when the puck is on is a 7. The 7 is a bad number when it's on. The 7 is a good number when the puck is off, usually sent all the way to the edge of the table. But when you walk up to a table, if the puck is off, that means it's a brand new game and everybody can enter. But if the puck is on one of these numbers, I would suggest that you wait until the puck is off. But at the end of the day, it's your money and you choose what you want to do with it. Just some table etiquette. The don't pass, very simple. The exact same thing. If the puck is off, you're rolling numbers or someone else is rolling numbers, and let's say it lands on a 6, so the 6 is the point. While everybody else is trying to roll a 6 again, you are trying to hope for the 7. And when a 7 hits, everybody else will lose, but you will win because this is opposite of what the pass line is. So won't go into too much detail on that. If you'd like a little bit more information, watch some of the don't videos that I have on my channel, or go ahead and do a search behind that. The next area that we're going to look at is the field bets. Field bets are any one of these numbers that come out on a single roll. Here's a single roll, 224. 4 is in the field, you would win. How about an 8? 628, it's not on here, so you would lose. And the way that that works is these are self-placed bets, meaning you don't need to tell the dealer that you want to put money in the field. You just put it. Typically, depending on where you're at on the table, if you're in the corner or if you're in the front or even if you're towards the back, you want to make sure that you are putting your bets almost in front of you so that there is no confusion regarding whose bet that is. Okay? So just because it's placed right here doesn't mean you're betting on the 4. It means you're betting on this whole entire field of numbers. So if we were to roll again, the 7 would lose everything, right? There's no 7 in the field, so it would lose. Let's try again just so you can get a sense. We've got three $10 bets out there for 3 different people. That's an 11. 6, 5, 11 is going to be in the field. That means everybody would win 10, 10, and 10. And once you have your winnings, once you have been paid out, you are welcome to take it back. You are welcome to go back to the minimum. You are welcome to add as much as you want, at least the table minimum. And it's a self-serve station, meaning you put the money in there. So again, very simple to play that. The come bet. The come bet is kind of a game within its game. So if you're throwing the dice and you have a pass line, you threw a number and it landed on the 5, so the 5 is the point. Now you can put a $5 come bet. You just want to communicate that to the dealer that you're putting that as a come bet. So let's say you roll another number and it's a 6. Well, now this becomes its own point. And the objective is for you to either roll a 6 to win it back or a 5 to win this back. So hopefully that makes sense. When the money comes and travels up here for the come bet, It is now an additional bet, very similar to the pass line. Okay. And so not a lot of people play it, but those that do understand in this example, a 1-1-2 would lose because just like the pass line, a 2-3-12 loses, 7-11 wins. And in this case, you have the money down, you put a 2, you lose because it can't travel anywhere. At least just like the um, pass line. So let's talk about you putting it down again. You roll an 8. This will travel to the 8. And you won't win any money until you roll that number again. A 3 would lose. Let's say you've got another one coming. A 4, this will travel to the 4. So hopefully you get the idea on how come bets work. They go up to the number, and therefore you only get paid when you roll it again. If you were to throw the dice again and it lands on a 4, then what would happen is this would come down, it would get paid 1-1, and then you can choose to take it back to your earnings or put another $10 down. Roll the dice again, you hit a 6, this would travel up to the 6, this would come down from the 6, and it would get paid. So it travels up and down. Usually dealers will call that an on and off, and so instead of having it travel here and go back down, they would just say on and off for $10. Couple of things to keep in mind is if you change your denomination, so here I have $15 in a bet, but only 10 here, you want to make sure they don't tell you on and off because they'll only pay you to $10. So usually whenever there's more chips on that, you want to make sure that you're communicating $5 come bet. It'll travel. This will come down and get paid 10 as it should, but now you have a $15 bet. If it happens to roll again, let's say now you have $10 on the come bet, and you roll a 6, well, now this one would come down, this one would go up, and it would get paid $15 because that's what that bet is. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the come bet. Again, if it is confusing to you, that's okay. We've all been there, done that. Go check out some of my other videos that explain a little bit about the come bet. The next and last piece that I want to talk about in this part of the video is called the place bets. These bets are not self-service. These bets are actually done by the dealer. However, you can control them by telling the dealer what you want. These up here are not contract bets, meaning you can add to them and take away from them at any time of the game while the game is in session. So for example, a very common bet is, let's say, the Iron Cross. The Iron Cross consists of money in the, well, let's talk about the denominations first. So at a $10 table, every single one of these place bets have to have at least a minimum of $10 whenever you want to bet on a specific number. Let's say you wanted $10 on the 9, so you can put some money out and say, dealer, can you place my 9? They'll put the money up here, and depending on where you're at on the table will determine where your bet is going to go. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you're closer to the stickman here, and if you're closer to the dealer up top there. So depending on your position, that's where you'll be. And if you tell them you want $10 also on the 5, so now you've got $20 in bets, they'll place it in the same position so that you know where your money's at. If they place it here, this is for somebody else, usually further down. But in this case, all of your bets would be in the same position. Whenever dealers are given instructions to put money across, that's something that you may hear at the tables, is just go ahead and put me down across. They will just put an even dollar amount on every chip. And as you can see, the 6 and 8 has white chips on top of it. These are called the cap. But the 6 and 8, in order to be a true bet or a normal bet, it would be $12 instead of 10. Okay, so always keep that in mind. The minimum amount is $10. However, the 6 and 8 always have to have at least 12. So hopefully you understand that. If you're at a $5 table, then that would look like this. It would look just like $6. Okay, and that's what that would look like. So that way, um, you know that if it's a $5 minimum table, you have to at least be betting $5. In this case, we've got $32 across. When we up everything up, now we have 64 across. So usually you can put a big stack of checks, most commonly referred to as chips, and you can ask the dealer to play 64 across, and they'll know exactly what to do when they arrange your money. But biggest thing to keep in mind when you walk up to the table and you do any place bets is understand that the 6 and 8, you have to play them in $6 increments. Everything else can be played in $5 increments, assuming that the table minimum is at least $5 or more. Okay, so hopefully that takes care of it. As you can see, because of the types of denominations there are, for every $6 that you bet, you would win 7. So 6 pays 7. This $5 bet would also win 7. This $5 bet would actually win you 9. So hopefully you can see that on screen, but and then it would be the exact same thing for the other side of the place bets. So this would pay you 7, 6 for every 7. This would pay you 7, 5 for every 7. And this would pay you 9, 5 for every 9. So keep those things in mind when you are placing your bets. If it's a $15 minimum, then you obviously cannot be playing $10 bets when it's a $15 minimum, because then this $15 and this $15 need to have a cap, and there is your cap. So 15 is actually 18. And again, if every 6 pays 7, well, 18 then is going to pay 21. So that would look like this. So if you were to roll an 8 or a 6, it would pay you 21. $15 and $15 would also pay you 21. And then $15 on the 4 and 10. Hopefully you can do the math. It would actually pay you 27, because these are $9 wins per chip, $7 wins per chip, $7 wins per $6. Okay, so keep those things in mind. I know it can get complicated and math is tough for some, but you'll get into a rhythm of it soon enough. The biggest mistakes that people make when they actually bet, and this is including myself at times, is you look at your bankroll and you may be betting more than you actually should. Meaning, if I only have $100, I shouldn't have $100 out here to play with, because if I ever roll a 7, then all that money gets wiped out. So hopefully you got a sneak peek at an introduction to craps. Don't be afraid to play even just one roll, because once you catch the fever of playing the game, it's actually very fun. Keep in mind that because these are not contract bets, meaning they don't have to stay up here, if at any point during the game, whether the puck is on or off, you can request to take back your money at any time. There are contract bets out there that you cannot take back, but place bets can be taken back. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will continue the series, hopefully, so that we can get more newer players familiarized with the game. And you always continue to learn the various strategies. So if you're watching this video, keep pushing forward, keep learning, and hope to hear some good stuff for you next time you're at a casino. Thank you.